Welcome to the Simplicity of Wellness podcast. I'm your host, board-certified holistic nutritionist and professional life coach, Amy White. The purpose of this podcast is to share information that you can use to become leaner, stronger, and healthier by losing weight, shedding inches, maintaining muscle, and managing your mind, all while living your normal, busy life in this modern, sugar-filled world. Hello, simplifiers. Today, I'm going to share the not-so-secret secret to losing weight, what that actually means, and why the nuance of this not-so-secret secret is what determines if you're going to lose weight permanently or continue to suffer with yo-yo weight loss and gain. I'll also share a quick client story to help illustrate what I'm talking about. The way you lose weight is by bringing less energy into your body than your body requires to function on any given day. Simply put, a calorie deficit. And that, my friends, is the not-so-secret secret to weight loss, creating a calorie deficit for a long enough period of time so that your body digs in and uses your excess energy, also known as your body fat, to fuel your body function when the calories you're eating are less than what is needed to keep you alive and humming. I've been helping women lose weight for over 12 years. For most of those years, I never once uttered the phrase calorie deficit. More than not saying it, I actually avoided saying it because I didn't want to sound like everyone else and for people to think that I believed weight loss was all about sacrifice and suffering, and if you wanted to lose weight, you had to suck it up and deal with the discomfort. After helping women lose weight for 12 years, things have changed. I have changed. I'm now happy to talk about managing a healthy calorie deficit as a direct route to losing weight permanently. The reason I'm happy to talk about a calorie deficit is because I know that to lose weight, a calorie deficit is required, but suffering isn't. A healthy calorie deficit isn't scary or horrible because it doesn't create suffering. You don't feel hungry or have constant cravings or feel deprived or even exhausted. When the calorie deficit is set properly for you, your goals, and your lifestyle, there isn't any drama. In fact, most of the time, calorie counting and food tracking isn't even required. Traditional dieting is associated with restriction and deprivation as a result of extreme calorie deficit. This is uncomfortable. This is where most of our thoughts go when we think about dieting to lose weight. We've all been trained to believe that weight loss will only happen when we manufacture an uncomfortable, forced period of time where we live and eat that's very different from the way we normally do. We then suffer through this manufactured period of time with food cravings, self-pity parties, a planned cheats or cheat days, constant hunger, and a laser focus on what we want the scale to say. Carving time out of normal life and manufacturing an unnatural approach to your everyday behavior creates forced momentary change that sets off every alarm bell in your brain. Forced momentary change will never result in permanent weight loss because the behavior that created the problem, the weight gain, hasn't truly changed. Your body will overcorrect against the forced change with rebound weight gain. This is why yo-yo dieting is so common. I don't help my clients do dieting better so that they can lose weight and gain it back better. I help my clients evolve into the version of themselves that loses weight and doesn't gain it back. In other words, I help my clients create a healthy calorie deficit that works for their body so they can enjoy the process of moving toward their weight loss goal. This is the opposite of suffering. Permanent weight loss happens when you fall in love with the process of becoming the person that can achieve the result. You become a person who changes and evolves as you move toward your goal. You shift into a new version of yourself long before you actually hit your weight loss goal. Everyone talks about habit change and lifestyle change. This is what that means. You change with every new habit you develop, and you evolve as those habits become a natural part of the behaviors that create your lifestyle. As you evolve into the person that loses weight permanently, you reach your goal without manufactured forced change. Your normal behavior evolved as you evolved. There's no difference between what you did to lose weight and what you do as normal behavior in your everyday life. As you change and evolve, you begin to understand that you can eat food to feel full and satisfied without gaining weight. You recognize that you're designed to need and eat food. Having a healthy appetite is a sign that you're living in a healthy body. A healthy body in balance won't gain weight from food when that food supports proper body function. Conversely, losing weight just to change a number on the scale most often isn't about creating health and body balance. It's about momentary change, and this is okay. You get to decide what you want, but don't settle for yo-yo weight loss just because you didn't know there was another way. Creating new habits and lifestyle change may sound overwhelming, but it's not, especially when you do it in a way that creates less discomfort than the suffering caused by trying to live in an extreme calorie deficit. When you learn how to feed your body in a way that works for your body, you can create a healthy calorie deficit without triggering alarm bells in your brain and causing your body to try to overcorrect with rebound weight gain. Your weight loss happens and then is maintained due to the permanent behavior change you created as you evolved into the person that loses weight and doesn't gain it back. The reality of weight loss through personal growth and body balance is you feel good as you lose weight. Your hunger calms down, your cravings go away. It's not unusual to feel like you're eating more, which is the opposite of what most people believe happens when you're actively trying to lose weight. So imagine that for a minute. You feel good, your energy's up, you feel super satisfied because rather than feeling restricted and deprived, you feel like you're eating more than you have ever eaten and you're losing weight. You aren't wishing for a finish line. Why would you? You feel better, not worse. You're not thinking about a way out. What you're doing feels natural, which makes it feel easy. There's nothing to get back to. There's no comfort that you're craving. When you create a calorie deficit that works for your body gets all the nutrients it needs, which is why there aren't any alarm bells going off in your brain. To your body, the change you're making is a good change. Your food confidence increases, your empowerment explodes, you become a person who believes you can lose weight and not gain it back. Let me give you a quick client story about losing weight without forced change and discomfort. I give all of my new clients a priority food list that I want them to start incorporating as part of their healthy food changes. Each client approaches this list in a different way. Some like to dive in and just eat off the list. Others take a more transitional approach, and that's the story I want to tell today. The client I'm thinking of didn't want to track food, count calories, or even weigh herself. She was happy to track how she was feeling and use clothes as a reference for how her body was shifting. This client didn't actively stop eating her normal foods. What she did was look at the priority food list. Not surprisingly, she found foods on that list that she likes and enjoys, but realized she hadn't been eating. Instead of cutting out her normal foods and potentially creating stress about being hungry and feeling deprived, she decided to add in foods from the priority food list. This small change was all it took for this client to start feeling better and seeing weight loss changes. Here's what happened. As she added in the healthy foods I recommended, her appetite calmed down. She felt less hungry, which caused her to eat less of her normal foods. Not because she was forcing this change, but because her body shifted in a positive way and the change naturally happened. She created a healthy calorie deficit without feeling like she was eating less. Over time, many things changed for this client, but I think one of the biggest changes was the disappearance of food anxiety and insecurity. She stopped being afraid of feeling hungry. She learned that hunger wasn't an emergency. She learned the difference between what real biological hunger and emotional hunger felt like, and she trusted herself to feed her body when it needed food. She evolved into a person who knew how to work with her body. Okay, let's do a quick recap. The not-so-secret secret to weight loss is creating a calorie deficit and living in that deficit until your excess fat has been burned off by your body. The nuance of how you approach a calorie deficit and weight loss goal is how you either lose weight permanently or continue with a yo-yo weight loss cycle. Permanent weight loss is less about the weight loss goal itself and much more about how you evolve as a person while moving toward your goal. If you're unsure whether or not you're in a yo-yo cycle or on your way to permanent weight loss, this might help. Here are some indicators that you're fighting against your body and forcing unnatural manufactured change. You're hungry, but trying not to eat. You're craving sugar and carby foods. You're dreaming about or actually planning a cheat meal or an entire cheat day. You feel exhausted. Your moods shift depending on what the scale says. You're thinking about your celebration meal once you hit your weight loss goal. You're feeling sorry for yourself and not enjoying the process at all. Okay, if you're interested in learning more about how your body uses calories, go back and listen to the previous episode, Cracking the Calorie Code. That's it for today. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd really appreciate it if you would please leave some stars and a comment. I'll be back next Wednesday with the next episode. Life is busy, and when we're busy, sitting down to a meal often isn't realistic, which means we're grabbing snacks. If you're eating on the run more often than not, click the link below the podcast to grab my healthy snacks list. You'll find lots of ideas for mini meals at home and easy on-the-go travel snacks.